Welcome, everyone, to the ultimate game in the college football season. Everything has built to this, the battle for the national championship and college football immortality, a moment that every young football player grows up dreaming about. And what a matchup this is. Two survivors of the expanded college football playoff grind, two of the top four seeds when it all began. Both sides have been challenged and pushed all year and through the playoff. Now it's time to find out who can take that final step, as we'll see the third seed in this playoff, the Colorado Buffaloes, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the USC Trojans. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler, joined here as always by Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, everything has been building to this. It's time for the national championship. Let's crown a champion. Here we go with the kickoff. This is it, the ultimate game in college football, national championship at stake. And he'll lead the kickoff right there. We'll start with the 25. Offense showing a bunch formation now. There's the handoff. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Well, that was that excellent linebacker with a clear path just running downhill quickly.
You know, I think one of the great things about watching this guy play all year is his vision. He just has great instincts. That time, the defensive line ate up all the linemen, freed up the linebacker to get into the backfield, and the result is a tackle for a loss for the backer.
He went backwards on first down, so second and long from the 24. Quarterback escapes the pocket and takes off. Extending the play now. He'll avoid the sack, but is brought down after a short gain. So on the opening drive, they're backed up here now, 3rd and 9. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Pressure is coming. Looking to scramble. Breaks loose at the 40. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down.
And this quarterback can play the game. He can throw, and as we see here, he can run the football. The defense does everything that they need to with the pressure. They look like they're in good position to be able to come up with a nice play on him, but instead, he shows how he can slip out of the back door of this defense and pick up a nice gain.
And the quarterback keeps it here. Picks up the force, looking for more. He'll earn the first down, but pay for it with a hard hit.
Well, this is what the offensive coordinator told us yesterday, Chris, in our production meeting. They thought they had an advantage up front with the line of scrimmage, and on this opening drive, we continue to see the offensive line in this back putting up positive yards.
Gets the ball up as he's hit, but it's incomplete.
Man, you got to love this if you're defensive coordinator. It's all about affecting the quarterback and getting pressure on him. This time, they got to him and forced that incompletion.
Offense lines up for a second down play off the incompletion. Here's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. He's moving out of the pocket. On the run here, lets it go. And the pass is intercepted. A takeaway for the defense. Not much on the return, but they set up the offense at the 35.
Boy, a costly mistake here by the quarterback. Forces that ball into coverage, and the defense comes up with the interception. Hate to see the game start off like this for this offense.
And there's the handoff. Picks up 2, so it's 2nd and 8.
Chris, you know, the spread era over the years has always grown offensively. But I've been always impressed with defenses that really build their defense to play in space, still have an ability to be sound at the line of scrimmage and defend a running game. It's exactly what we saw right there.
They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1.
Chris, textbook job by the defense surrounding the runner and preventing that play from being bounced to the outside.
They're backed up here trying to make something happen on 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Finds a man downfield. That's a big gain to the right. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain, more than enough to pick up a first down.
Boy, nice pickup there, Chris. We'll have to see if this defense stays in man coverage after giving up another big play.
Now here's the toss play. Finds room at the 30. No stopping and takes it all the way. Touchdown, Buffaloes.
What a long run for a touchdown. I don't know if this defense was caught sleeping or walking in mud. I can't pick which one. Maybe it's both, because the running back just went right by them so easily for the big gain and a big-time score.
Kickoff team has come on the field now to send this one away. And from deep in the end zone, he'll bring it out. He's tackled at the 17, so it'd been better to leave it in the end zone for a touchback. And the USC offense is back out on the field. They had some good things going in the last drive, but it ended suddenly with the pick. Let's see what they can do here. Quarterback escapes the pocket. Gets rid of it on the move. The short completion of the tight end. And tackled there by the defense.
We're in the age of the mobile quarterback, and you saw it right there. The ability to scramble out of the pocket, extend the play, and make passes like that is invaluable to the offense.
Second down after that previous play. There's the snap. Looking to throw the ball. Fires it to the wideout. Looks downfield and connects with a wide-open wide receiver. An explosive play across midfield all the way to the 41.
It's a nice throw and a great catch by this USC wide receiver to pick up a first down. And boy, oh boy, USC quarterbacks and receivers, efficiency and timing and speed and execution. But they are putting it on display once again today.
The drive stays alive with that first down completion. Here's the snap, looking to throw here. Makes a quick grab.
Well, it's a game of matchups. Always has been and it always will be, especially on the perimeter. And the quarterback believes his guy is better than their guy.
That completion makes it second and short. An inside give now from the shotgun. They stop him, but it's a first down.
That's a first down for USC's offense. Nice job up front and an outstanding run here by this running back. What great tradition that USC has of running the football and having great backs. And it's beautiful to see another good one here today.
He's looking to scramble. Couldn't quite get in. Tackled down at the 2-yard line. Excellent run.
Well, here's a quarterback that just takes control for himself. Picking up some nice yards when nothing else is there. This guy's a real threat.
And the Trojans looking to punch it in here. It's first and goal. First and goal, handoff. Muscles across the goal line. Touchdown, Trojans. And they'll set up now for the extra point try. And there's the point after. Kickoff team on the field getting set now. Fielded in the end zone. It's Miller. It'll be tackled right at the 20. That's a good job by the coverage team. And here comes the Colorado offense back out on the field. They were able to punch it in the end zone last time. Looking to do the same thing here to see if the defense can make adjustments. They'll tackle him at the 27.
Great job by the offensive line here, opening up some holes and giving the running back room to run on first down. Plays like this can open up the playbook for the play caller, allow him to make that defense think they're going to run, maybe play action, maybe throw the ball downfield.
Important second down play coming up. Offense looking to throw the ball. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw that time. And now third down coming up.
Boy, the defense rolls the dice here on this screen pass. If they don't hit this quarterback, this is a big play. But give them credit. They were able to get to him before they were able to complete that pass.
Offense looking to convert on third and short from the 27. Passes the 40. Tough running there. An explosive play. Big gain across midfield to the 42. This line getting set up. It's a first down play.
That's the end of the first quarter.
The Buffaloes come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. Now they're running on the toss. Tackle made at the 24-yard line. This offense really threatening now.
Nothing better than an offense on first down to be able to pick up big positive yards like that. You can either keep giving it to the back, or you can set up play action and get the defense to come up to the line of scrimmage, and you can throw it over top of it.
They'll hand it off. Defense able to stop the ball carrier there.
Well, the defensive line does their job eating up those double teams, freeing up the backers to make the play.
Offense getting set up. Here's second down. Timeout is called by the defense. That's their first of the half. Offense getting set. It's second down. Here's the snap. Quarterback looking to throw. He's going to take off. And the senior able to make the stop after a short gain. So now it's third and short from the 23. Potential four-down territory. Let's see what the third down call is. Takes the toss and heads left. Defense able to stop it. It's fourth down now. And the Buffaloes will look to convert here on fourth down. Send the back in motion. Fourth down. He's throwing for it. And he finds his target. He has the first. He moves the ball to the 7-yard line. Offense has a first and goal now.
Well, Chris, here's an example of what we always talk about. On fourth down, the receiver's got to run a route beyond the sticks. Great awareness to know exactly where he is. Quarterback makes the throw. Receiver gets hit, but he's beyond the sticks for the first down.
A pop pass on the jet sweep. All the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. Who says you need explosive plays, Kirk? That was a long, winding scoring drive.
And think about this. This is the national championship, and you're able to execute like that against this quality of a defense, and that is a great job by the coordinator and the quarterback being in sync and putting together a heck of a drive.
Automatic on the PAT. Bringing it out. It's Wells. Tackle at the 14. Not very good field position to start here. And the Trojans offense is back out on the field. They punched it in the last possession. Can they do it again, or will this defense make some adjustments to get a stop? Pulls it in. It's Branch. They bring down the receiver, but that's a nice gain on that play.
Anytime you have a chance to get this wide receiver isolated, to get the ball in his hands, you do it.
And completion makes it second and short. From the gun, he looks for an open man. Quarterback leaves the pocket on the move now. Looks like he's going to run it. Quarterback gets down to avoid the tackle.
I really like this call by this offense on second and short. Looking to maybe take a shot downfield. Nobody is open, so instead, he's able to just tuck it, run, and pick up a nice first down.
Fresh set of downs for the offense. First down. There's the snap. Quarterback setting up to throw. Grab down the middle. It's O'Neal. He's swarmed by the defense.
And that is always the toughest thing for a defense. When you cover the initial routes by the receivers, but then they start their second routes adjusting to the quarterback scramble, and they're able to get open. And when you have a quarterback who can run around and buy time, it makes it so much tougher on coverage.
And the Trojans are going to keep this drive rolling.
Sometimes I almost get mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, the eyes that carry their feet to the open space, making people miss. I just love watching those guys do well.
And the Trojans are on the move here. Quarterback checks the defensive look, makes some adjustments. It's a short completion to the big tight end. Out of bounds, but not before a huge gain. Offense gets a fresh set of downs.
Boy, nice job here by this offense, creating an opportunity for this receiver to excel after the catch. It's early in this game, so this defense better get their arms around this receiver because he could be a monster today.
On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Trying to create outside the pocket now. Pass ball is incomplete, but there's a penalty marker, so let's check out that. Pretty easy call for the head coach. He will accept that penalty, of course. And the Trojans starting a new series here on 1st and 10. And the quarterback looking to make a play through the air. And he's going to fling it deep, going for it all here. Makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, USC. And they'll set up for the PAT. And it's up and good. Now they get set to kick it away. He's going to return it from deep in the end zone. He's tackled at the 17, so it would have been better to leave it in the end zone for a touchback. And the Buffalo's offense is back out there on the field. On that last touchdown drive, they just pounded away with the ground game. Let's see if that formula works again. The game good for just a few yards. The defense swarming to the football. They'll crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. 2nd down. They're going to run it here. That's a nice wrap up there by the junior.
See, that's how you limit what an offense wants to do. This time, the defense just won the battle up front at the line of scrimmage, not giving up any big plays. Everybody's gap sound. It's really solid defense on that play.
Running out of time in the pocket. And the senior making a disruptive impact play. Defense spends their 2nd timeout to try to regroup. And the Buffaloes will bring their punt team onto the field. So on to kick it away, helping his team with field position. And the fair catch signaled for and taken. First down play call. How aggressive will it be? Quarterback pre-snap adjustments now for this defense. First play of the drive, they'll come out throwing. That's caught. It's O'Neal. They make the tackle, but not before a solid gain on that pass.
One thing I love about this back is how he gets involved in the passing game. Nice catch here.
It's 2nd down after that completion. And he'll set up to throw. Grab near the sticks. It's Branch. And a big gain before he goes out of bounds. The offense keeps churning, gets a fresh set of downs.
That's another positive game here for this offense, and this defensive coordinator is going to have to make some kind of adjustments to get this quarterback out of his rhythm. It's the national championship, man. You've got to take chances and mix up your coverages because right now what you're doing just isn't working.
And he's able to find some room before they finally bring him down.
I tell you, to be able to pick up a nice gain like that, those offensive linemen have to sustain their blocks. Gave him a chance at a really nice gain.
Second down after that run on the previous play. There's the snap, and he's looking to throw. Quarterback moving out of the pocket, trying to create. Heavy pressure, he lets it go. Didn't see anybody open, just throws it away. That's now going to bring up third down.
Mobility can be a blessing or a curse for some quarterbacks. Sometimes they feel that they can make a play on every single opportunity because they have such speed. Instead of just getting down or throwing it away, they try to...
Got a lane, can he get in? And he's brought down at the 1-yard line. What a play on the completion. The offense calls a timeout here. That's their third and final for the half.
Man, you just continue to see the chemistry between these two. And they told us yesterday in our production meeting, they spent hours and hours of working and developing that chemistry and that rhythm by throwing together throughout those summer months. And man,
he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, SC. Extra point try coming now. PAT makes it a 7-point lead. So the offense getting some momentum before halftime with the touchdown. Now they kick off in hopes the defense can get a quick stop.
14.
And the returner decides to signal fair catch. And the Colorado offense is back out on the field. If they want to cut into this lead before halftime, they have to work quickly now. Tries the right with a quick throw. Oh, the pass is picked off. And he's got some open field ahead. And he steps out of bounds. A solid return and a great play to set up his offense here.
That offensive coordinator is going to have some choice words for his quarterback over the phone on the sideline after that throw. You have to be more careful with the football.
So the offense takes the field in the final seconds of the half. Chance for just a couple more plays. And the delay of game penalty will push the offense back 5. Receivers are bunched together. Quarterback appears to be changing the play. There's the snap. They'll set up to throw. Bringing pressure. And it's incomplete. Just 10 seconds remaining now. So on second down, they'll try out the field goal unit, trying to get 3 before halftime. And it's good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Now, I was watching this guy in pregame. He's got a strong leg. I'm surprised here he's able to put 3 points up here for the offense.
So no return on this one. Ball just bounces into the end zone for a touchback. This will likely be the last play of the half. Looking to throw it on first down. Here's a shot toward the right sideline. And it's intercepted. And he'll be brought down as time runs out here in the first half. Miller's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it out in Kevin Connors with our halftime update. The Trojans will kick it away to get us going in the second half. Fielded in the end zone. It's Miller. Tackled at the 13. Not great field position to start the drive. And the Colorado offense is back out on the field. The first job here, protect the football. Turnovers on back-to-back possessions. They get him to the ground about the 18-yard line. The Buffaloes come to the line in the hurry-up.
Another positive gain by this back. I tell you, between the offensive line sustaining blocks and this back's vision and ability to explode into that second level of this defense, this guy is having a monster day in the biggest stage of all in the national championship.
Quarterback looking to pass here on second down. He'll take a deep shot. They try a downfield shot. That's a good effort there. But now it's third down.
Chris, I got to be honest. I mean, this is the national championship. We've seen so much out of this quarterback throughout the year and these receivers, and yet here in this biggest stage, they cannot do anything through the air. The timing is off. Now, again, you got to...
Here's the throw deep downfield. And he's got it down there inside the 35. They could not stop him. He's in. Touchdown, Buffs.
Now we're seeing more and more of this in college football. Guys in that slot that got the ability to get downfield vertically. It's a mismatch if you have the right guy. This time they get the matchup that they want, hit it for a big one.
PAT is good. They draw within 3, 24-21. Kickoff team is on the field. Let's see if they give the returner a chance to bring this one back. Returner decides to field it. Coverage team brings down the returner. And here comes the USC offense back on the field. Settled for a field goal last time out. Can they open things up on this possession? Obvious false start there, moving too early. And the head coach will decide to accept the penalty and take the yardage. Big guys up front lined up. It's first down. Linebackers making some adjustments now. From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. He'll try a pass here. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. Tackle made at the 37. That's a solid gain.
Boy, just a great throw and outstanding accuracy by this USC quarterback. We always know over the years that SC has as much history as anybody at this quarterback spot, and sure is living up to that right now.
Looking for a gap. It's O'Neal. He gains 9, so it's 2nd and 1.
Man, you know, the back gets a lot of the attention here, and he's a good back. I'd love to see that offensive line win the battle of the line of scrimmage.
Second down play coming up for this offense. The quarterback making some changes at the line. They'll look to throw it here on second down. It's incomplete. That was caused by the defensive pressure. And now it brings up third down. See if the offense can move the chains with that incompletion. We go with a direct snap. Takes it inside the 40. And moves the ball to the 35. Another first down.
Boy, Chris, you cannot overstate how big of a conversion this was to be able to pick this up on the ground. Yeah, the offense still has the lead, but you can just feel the defense having all the momentum with the points they've been able to compile. And that run right there picks up a first down and can kind of settle things down a bit.
Ball's incomplete, broken up by the defender nicely that time.
Just a great play on the ball by the defensive back, getting a hand on it and tipping it up into the air. Boy, anytime you see a tip go up, often that defense is thinking interception. This one falls to the ground, but the next tip ball could be going the other way.
Looking to pass here on second down. Trying to extend the play. Tries to get loose on the scramble, but is brought down after a short gain. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Dropping back. We're going to throw for the first down. He's got it for a big gain. They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play.
Well, he continues to have time to throw the football, and he makes his defense pay for it. Now, they realized coming into this game, they had to take away his ability to throw the football downfield, but it's the receivers and their plays after the catch that's really giving them a hard time.
Brought down at the 3 after an excellent running play.
Boy, how about that play, Chris? That thing just opened up. The back shot through there with great acceleration. What a pickup there on first down.
On the ground, trying to muscle it across the line. They tackle him behind the line, a loss of 4.
Well, this defense is being challenged. They're close to their own goal line, but how about this play? All 11 guys coming together. They stood firm. The result is a short loss for the offense. Nice job.
So off the loss, it's second and goal from the 8. They'll try to power it in right up the middle. And he gets to the end zone. Touchdown, Southern California. So a long, methodical scoring drive. Great execution with championship pressure, Kirk.
Man, this is the biggest stage that you can play on. You're in the national championship, and drives like that are going to wear down the opponent physically and mentally. This wasn't an accident. They were very intentional on how they worked their way down the field, and it pays off in the end.
So it'll be a touchback. Ball spotted at the 25. And here comes the Colorado offense back out on the field. They scored a touchdown on the last possession. Let's see if this defense has been able to come up with some adjustments and stop them this time. Breaks loose at the 40. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down. And the Buffaloes come up to the line to crank the tempo up here. And then first down, right back to the running game.
You know, in the era that we live in right now, everybody wants to spread the field around, try to create space, try to create one-on-one matchups, and the defense is countered over the years by trying to play out wide. But here's a great example.
They don't pick up the blitzers, and it's a sack. Third down. This offense could really use a conversion here, down multiple scores. Now the timeout is called by the defense. They've got some things to work out here. The offense facing a tough conversion here. Third and long from the 42. And he drops back in the gun. That's the third pick tonight thrown by this QB. Going the other way, can they catch him? That's a potential game changer, the pick and the big return.
Just a great job of anticipating that and coming up with a big interception by this defense. Because they have this lead, they really forced this offense to become one-dimensional. They're expecting the ball to be into the air. The defensive backs have their eyes on the ball, and they're able to capitalize with a big pick here in the national title.
Heads out of bounds after a solid gain, more than enough to pick up a first down.
The defense has got to do a much better job here of adjusting to the pre-snap motion. They just kind of stayed in place, and it gave the receiver plenty of room there to make a nice play.
And it looks like the quarterback's going to run it. Touchdown, Trojans. This offense is still clicking. Well, they began with great field position, and that didn't take long at all, Kirk.
Well, that's how you take advantage of an opportunity. Your defense sets you up in great field position. You're not looking for a field goal. You're looking for a touchdown. Give the credit to this offense for being aggressive and punching it in.
Here's the kickoff team. Let's see if they give the returner an opportunity to bring this back. Turn starts inside the 15. Not much on the return. They'll stop him at the 24. Good coverage.
And the Colorado offense will take over. First and 10.
And the Buffalo's offense is back out there on the field. The last possession ended in an interception. Let's see if they continue to trust this quarterback in the passing game. That one falls incomplete. Good defensive play. Brings up second down. Offense in hurry-up mode. Defense trying to jam these receivers at the line. He's back to throw again on 2nd and 10. Lets it go quickly. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't get it. Brings up third down.
Well, this quarterback and his receivers have got to get on the same page. They've got to find a rhythm if they want to move the ball down the field.
Drops back, looking to throw for it on third down. He's escaping the pocket now. Got him for a sack. A big play made by one of the senior leaders of this defense.
Well, here we are in the national championship, and you always talk about offense. And it is. It's become an offensive game. But how fitting to see this defense. This team has a nice lead, and a large portion of that has to do with the way they've been able to get after this quarterback. That's the 2nd sack in this game.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, USC 38, Colorado 21.
So down by multiple possessions here. The offense will try to convert here on 4th down. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. He'll take a deep shot here. And he's intercepted for the 4th time tonight. Look out, he's got some space. Out past the 30. Not just the pick, but a big return. Sets up the offense in good position.
Boy, would this quarterback love to have this one back. They're trying to work themselves back into this game here in the second half. And the defense comes up with a big turnover that could be the nail in the coffin.
QB to the tight end for a completion. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play.
And there's the tight end who shows off his hands.
And the Trojans are in the red zone. They'll change the pre-snap look now. 2nd down, we're going to throw it. Oh, it's picked off. What a play. And they bring him down. Great play by the defense, but there is a flag on the field. Let's see if the play stands. And the defense cannot believe it. The interception is going to be wiped out. Roughing the passer is the call. And the Trojans hoping to punch it in here. They have 1st and goal. He's moving out of the pocket now. And it's incomplete. Even on a 1st down throw, he was under some heavy pressure.
Well, there's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of the quarterback trying to throw a football. And on this play, they end up flushing him out to his left, contacted him as he's trying to throw the football. That's what led to this incompletion.
Couldn't quite get there. Brought down at the 2.
Well, how fitting for him to get another nice carry here, because it's been that kind of game in the national title. We knew coming in that he was going to be showcased. I didn't think he would have this kind of performance on this big of a stage, but he has, and a big reason why they're going to win this national title.
And now the offense will call a timeout. Something the coach didn't like about this. Crucial play coming up. So no gain on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. And the quarterback tucks it and takes off as a design run. And he's brought down there.
What a stop by this defense here on 3rd down and goal. They've been put in a very tough situation, and 3 straight plays, they've stepped up. Now, a big decision for the head coach for the offense. What is he going to do here after those 3 plays? Is he still going to try to get this touchdown?
Kick is good. Gives the offense 3 points to show for that drive. And they add to their lead.
Well, they almost put a touchdown on the board, but instead they come away with 3 points.
Trying to make a play from deep in his end zone. They tackle him at the 9. That's good coverage. They should have left the ball in the end zone.
Will take over. First and 10.
Back out on the field. This drive is important. Last one ended in an interception. Let's see if they can get it going here. Oh, it's incomplete. That's a good job of the defender to break that up.
Boy, this quarterback is living on the edge. Remember, he threw an interception in the last drive. Thought he might learn from that. Instead, he throws the ball right back into coverage. I thought he threw another pick. He better change the way he's playing the game or he's going to cost his team a game.
Here's the handoff. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 2. And the Buffaloes hustle to the line to crank up the tempo. Hands off to the left. The defense stops him short of the marker, so it's 4th down coming up.
Now this defense is going to have to mix up some looks because this back has had a monster day in the national championship. Running inside, running outside. The defense has got to do a good job locking in on him to negate his big playability.
Trying for a 4th down completion. Airing this one out toward the sideline. And the pass is batted down, broken up on 4th down. What a play.
Chris, I totally understand why they would go for this here at this point in the game. You're down by 3 scores. We're in the second half. They felt the pressure with the possession that they had, the field position that they had. They needed to make something happen. Unfortunately, not able to come through.
Touchdown, USC. And this one is getting ugly.
I love this after a sudden change. You get a big stop by your own defense. You come out with pretty good field position. You take a shot, and it pays off. Boy, what a change in momentum right here.
And the extra point was up and good.
Colorado, 21.
And from deep in the end zone, he'll bring it out. Makes it to the 16. That's good coverage there.
And the Colorado offense will take over. First and 10.
And the Colorado offense is back out on the field. The last possession, they came up empty, went for it on 4th down in their end and got stopped. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 2.
Chris, great job here by this defense. They're trying to bounce this to the outside, take advantage of his speed in the backfield, but no chance at all. The defensive speed, ability to diagnose the play, blows it up.
With the catch, it's King. Tackle finally made. That's a very solid gain, but not close to 1st down yard. Quarterback in the shotgun here on 3rd down. Down goes the quarterback. It's a sack. The offense stays on the field down multiple possessions. Easy choice. And he's throwing for it on 4th down. And he's swarmed by the pass rush. A sack to end this drive.
It's just not a smart decision, in my opinion, here to go for it on 4th down. And, Chris, I know we're kind of in this era now of analytics and when to go for it, when not to. People are aggressive by nature, but to go for it inside your own 20-yard line.
Touchdown, SC. To stretch the lead, the route is on. Lining up to try the extra point. And the PAT is good as they continue to pull away even more. The kickoff team on the field now is set to send this one away.
Colorado, 21.
And the return man decides to signal fair catch. First down here. Time for one more play before the clock stops for the 2-minute warning. Takes the ball, tries the right side here. They stop him after a 6-yard gain, so 2nd and 4. We've reached the 2-minute warning here. This offense needing to score and then get the football back. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. Direct snap to the back. Run it up the middle, but stuffed for no gain.
Goes in excellent effort by this defense, just staying in their run fence, holding their own at the line of scrimmage, and then making a tackle. Offense just couldn't get enough of a push to get any yards at all.
The pass rush closing in. They chase him down and trying to run for it, but it'll bring up 4th down. Down late, they'll keep the offense on the field, trying to chip away at this lead. Needs a completion here on 4th down. Finds his man, has the 1st down. He's tackled quickly, but the yardage is good enough for the 1st down. They'll hurry to the line here with the clock running. And looking to throw now on 1st down. Now in the final couple minutes, here's a deep shot. The pass is dropped. Would have been a big game, but he couldn't hold on. And he's back to throw again after that incompletion on 1st down. He's going to be brought down by that ferocious pass rush. Nice sack. The Buffaloes will crank up the tempo. Looking to throw it on 3rd and very long. Dumps it down to the back. Clock. He's not going to get the 1st down. It's 4th down. The offense will wisely spend a timeout after the play. Clock management is going to be very important here in the final minutes. And the Buffaloes will come to the line on 4th down, hoping to keep this drive going. 4th down, looking to throw for it. And it's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Great defensive play on 4th down.
Well, that'll do it, Chris. This defense has played well the entire game. It's very fitting here on this 4th down play in the 4th quarter. Under 2 minutes to go. They step up again. Give them the game ball.
He's moving out of the pocket. And he'll loft it to the end zone. Oh, and it's incomplete. He flat out dropped what would have been a touchdown. 2nd down coming up now.
Well, that's going to go down as an incompletion, obviously. But I like that the quarterback showed his ability to escape. Broke loose from the pocket and put the ball on a string. But he just wasn't able to come up with that completion.
Finding space at the 20. Worked out of bounds, but it's another big game. This offense producing chunk plays through the air.
Just a good job of spreading the wealth, making sure everybody's getting their touches. When you do that, the defense can't lock in on one guy or 2 guys. Make them have to be aware of everybody, and allows you to continue to spread the ball around and spread the field, making it tougher for this defense.
Getting set. Here's 2nd down. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. And the pass is intercepted as he throws into double coverage that time. He's got some room and some blockers here. So a great return following the pick. They're finally able to get him down.
Boy, just when it looked like they had complete control of the national championship, they turned the ball over. The only real mistake they could have made to give their opponent a chance to get back into the game, and they've done it.
Finds a receiver in the middle of the field. And they tackle him, but not before he picks up the 1st. And the offense takes timeout to stop the clock with just 11 seconds remaining. And the Buffaloes are in the red zone now. There's some pre-snap movement, back in motion. The tight end has got it. Tackle is made at the 4. It'll be 1st down and goal. And a late timeout taken, just 4 seconds on the clock. The Buffaloes come to the line with 1st and goal. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. Oh, they've got him. The defense has the last word today. That's a sweet victory. And that'll do it. We have a national champion. What an emphatic statement to close out this national championship run. You know, the coach told his guys, go out there and leave no doubt. And say mission accomplished.
Well, sometimes a team wins a national championship and they just got hot at the right time. And there's other times when it's been clearly the best team in college football all year. To me, these guys have been right up there as the top team in college football, and it's very fitting that they not only win it, but they win it in grand fashion.
Well, that's it. Dramatic punctuation to another outstanding season of college football. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler, and this has been a presentation of EA Sports College Football. Officially, your kings of the college football world and national champions, the USC Trojans.